Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
So, guys, I just want to check really quick as we are short a monitor here. All right, looks like we're good. And wow, there's some serious stuff going on. At least it feels certainly very, very serious.
It does, and it feels like they're big changes afoot, and they feel very serious yet suspicious.
So do make sure that you are subscribed with that little bell clicked. All three channels, Evolutionary, EEARTS, and Heart's Home. And feel free to check it in daily, see what's happening. Over here we see the world's largest earthquake early warning system announced in China. Is that just in time? And think about it, it's announced in China as well. Just in time for what? Well, I think this is curious. Again, we look to everything that the news is giving us, that the control system is giving us, and take cues from it. Feel into it, and what do you feel? And so that's what we are sharing with you. You guys are very familiar with this, I'm sure. The two solar eclipses, 2017, August 21st, 2017. By the way, that was the week that I started the channel, the first channel, Evolutionary. Yeah, isn't that really curious? And I don't even know. I just feel like that was the guides that were directing all this. I wasn't really, truly ever intending to do a YouTube channel.
I know, and this was the time when this happened. My life completely started to change too. It's like my life started to go on this course of inevitability that I have a mission to do. So I really think this changed the vibration of things, because my gosh, when that thing passed by me, it's like my whole body shifted. Chills. I changed. It was a complete reset, or something to do with changing consciousness. That was a big deal, that shift at that time.
And the second one is April 8th, 2024, which is now, less than a year away, less than 10 months away. I mean, this is close. Because, the feeling I've always had, and by the way, the X crosses the New Madrid zone, is that this is showing the tribulation period of the U.S. and NATO in so many ways. And when we get past this, everything is just totally different. And yet, if you see over here, there's a solar eclipse on October 14th, 2023, that makes another X. This X intersects over Texas. And specifically, this is kind of over the heart of Texas there. This is Oregon up through here. And, the other one starts in Oregon too, but just came across, a little different path. But when I see this, okay, well, what impressions do I get? And what I get is this reminds me I got to just be totally serious. The first impression I get is so many of the maps and the prophecies of seeing the invasion of the dragon into the U.S. Because if we, think about what we've seen with those maps of the, Third World War and the Red Dawn scenario, a lot of them show basically the entry into the U.S. along the Pacific Northwest. But I think it's going to be obviously, it's the whole border area that's been penetrated, not just the southern border, but the northern border too. And don't forget, there's been reports of Chinese and Russian troops, up in Alaska and in Canada as well. Seems like everything that people would say is just a crazy, theory of a CONS piracy nature has been completely proven to be true. So I think, again, also that what we have going in play is technology, which is triggering big, what you would think of as earth change events, which again is going to fit into the climate change agenda as well, as that's obviously where we are now in time.
You know, and I'm looking at this, looking between the two pictures, but looking at this one specifically, I don't know, I tend to see things in chakras. So to me, this is actually hitting sense of self in the United States. And that's concerning for me because we are under an attack of all of our sense of self seems to be, you know, under some sort of scrutiny, or it's trying to be changed, or it's trying to be manipulated. But there's a sense of who the United States is. If it were a person, that's the sense of self chakra. And the other one is the heart. It's the heart chakra. So two huge chakras, big changes coming with these.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, just wow, wow. I do think as I've, you know, stated, the initial blows that we're going to feel will be confusing. I think there will be technologies used that will mimic natural disasters, but really be triggered by the technologies. And that could include Cascadia, as we were talking about, San Andreas, and eventually the New Madrid. And maybe I shouldn't even say eventually, because time is short. Time is really short now. And we need to be making every day count. And I know that's, you know, feels exhausting. It certainly does for us, as, you know, we've been in the middle of a move
Yeah.
again. And, you know, but this time, you know, it's a different move. This is more of settling in, as long as we're able to, because what we've also seen is there's going to be mass migrations of people inside, not just the U.S., but other NATO countries, and just globally in general. So make of this what you will. Pressure changes from Friday's water main break in St. Louis Hills put stress on our water system, causing 15 more breaks this weekend. Water division workers fixed and replaced pipes all through the weekend, and the repair work continues thanks to our crews for their hard work. The city of St. Louis, over 16 water main breaks in St. Louis. Now, of course, St. Louis, you know, is pretty close to X marks the spot as far as the second, you know, the April line. It's very close to New Madrid. That one goes straight over the New Madrid. Did anybody else get to see the new Arkansas geyser this morning in Fayetteville? Fayetteville's in the northwest of Arkansas. Water main break on Martin Luther King across from Arby's had water shooting 100 feet high at times. Of course, Arkansas is one of the states that's, you know, right on the New Madrid. Of course, this is the other side of that state, but still, we're talking about something very big going on here. Let's throw in a water main break on Roosevelt Boulevard. This is in Philly. This is in Philadelphia. This is a twisted joke. Even the I-95 Philly detours are screwing up. So, you know, you got detours going on because 95's been blown up, and in that particular section, and then you got water main breaks going on. Interesting. Philadelphia too. Oh, but wait, there's more. NBC Bay Area emergency crews respond to a gas leak and water main break in San Francisco's Dubachi Triangle neighborhood. Water main break in the city has caused a water boil notice to go into effect. This is in Florida, in Fort Myers, all the way down in Fort Myers. Crews are on the scene of water main break on the I-55 South Frontage Road, Savannah Street exit, Jackson, Mississippi. Over here, we see the city of Gallup is still suffering the consequences nearly a week after a major water main break. Gallup, New Mexico. Crews continue to work on a water main break on Circle Drive near the 33rd Street overpass. You know, we're seeing them even up in Canada. Water main breaks everywhere. This is from Zeta Talk followers. Now, we've never been Zeta followers. We don't personally know too many trustworthy grays, but
No.
yeah.
I'm sure they're out there, but yeah, I'm sure they're out there, but we don't go out of our way to find them.
No. Akron, Ohio, crews repairing a large water main break today at West Exchange Street. St. Louis, Missouri, 16. Toledo, Ohio, another one. Cicero, New York, another one. Lancaster, Pennsylvania, another one. Forsyth County, North Carolina, another one. Yeah, they're all over.
I'm just curious though, as we're going off and looking at all of these, we probably should have done this before the show, but pulling up a map and then playing dot to dot to see where are these. I wonder if there's a pattern. Maybe we could look later.
They're everywhere. Because again, if you do pull up a map, you're going to be going all the way over to San Francisco. You're going to be in multiple spots in Canada, as you see. Over here, yet another one, Eastmont Avenue. This is up in Baltimore. And over here we have Calgary, another sinkhole because of a water main break. Yeah, so there's shifting. Dutch Sense is calling attention to the shifting of the craton. Again, when we had seen that Tonga blast, immediately the guides were saying this is technology, this is satellite-based technology that is shooting down a signal in order to trigger it. And in reality, they've been trying to trigger Cascadia and the San Andreas, which will undoubtedly trigger the New Madrid for quite a while. And as we've shared, I kind of feel like, it all could happen anytime. It feels like everything is in place. It's just a matter of when they get that lucky strike.
I know, and when it comes to technology, we're truly kept in the dark. I seriously doubt that the Vatican has like a placard by that Dyson sphere that explains exactly what it is and what it does and why is it in their front lawn. I mean, I know that the Earth has issues, but this really feels like something a little more deliberate than sporadic. And if they can't send a little signal and get a water main to break, well, maybe somebody can see to it. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right, natural in any way to me.
There's way more in play than just CERN and HARP. Those are the things that we hear of. There's way more in play technologically. As we've shared with you guys, we have gotten that the moon was put in its place around the timing of the Younger Dryas event. So that was just like 12,000 years ago. As there are basically small tribal traditions all around the world. All around the world in different spots, you'll find people that remember a time before the moon. And they even have a term for that. So Kansas wheat harvest will be the smallest since '57. U.S. corn is absolutely being devastated by drought. And we keep hearing of this, and you could see right now, truly the drought monitor looks better than it has in years. But it doesn't look good right over Kansas and right over the heartland. This particular area. Smallest harvest in 60 years. And of course, the population has doubled, since that period in time. So we are in for some, obviously more inflation, more shortages. It's actually hasn't, it's been a mixed bag. Some things, the price has gone back down like eggs, but then again, I don't trust it when I see the prices go down. Why are they, doing that when we know there's been so many, all different types of birds wiped out and killed because they're afraid of avian influenza. They go ahead and preemptively wipe out all the avians. Hello.
I know. It's just pure brilliance at work.
Yeah. I mean, the logic is just, it defies logic. It's not logical. Historic heat wave pummels Mexico and the Caribbean, heat to engulf most of Texas and parts of Louisiana. We would expect it because, again, what do we see? All over Twitter, all you see is people and bot accounts that are coming out just talking about, look at this, look at that. See, we've been talking about the climate change. Everybody, go drive your cars off a cliff, basically, they're saying. And you're not going to have wood burning stoves and no natural gas for you either. You're just going to have to come into the cell city, smart city, 15-minute cities. This is so obvious. We're seeing reports of the mercury soaring past 113 in the Caribbean. Now, the Caribbean is usually kind of mitigated. You get temperatures that are always in between, maybe a low of 68, 70 overnight, and a high of like 90, 92, 93. It doesn't even really get above 100 typically that often in most places in the Caribbean because of the water. The land masses are what help to give us the extremes, but yet you're seeing these reports, and we have to put reports out too, just because we're not there personally to comment on it. And then again, when some reports say half the people on Twitter, for instance, are bots, how do you even know by personal accounts which is a bot and which is an actual flesh and blood being?
You simply don't.
And we also have extreme heat sweeping across sub-Saharan Africa and the Middle East. And we have deadly forest fires in Kazakhstan, as well as obviously up in Canada, which they say don't worry, it's going to go all year. All summer for sure. They just pop up out of nowhere, and they pop up all together in bunches out of nowhere. It's kind of like somebody punching a button, and all of a sudden, beep, 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 little lights come down from satellites, and little fires go up.
Well, it's something that we cannot just write off. You have to ask yourself, is this possible with the technology? And the answer is yes, I believe so.
Absolutely. I mean, just the declassified technology alone. And again, you could look at it like they're at least 40 to 50 years ahead of what they show us. But the reality is there's beings that have technology thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands years above what we know, that are in league with the power structure here on the planet. Boulder, Colorado, you got flash floods there. You have streets with rivers of hail. So everywhere we look, severe flooding in Yemen, over 165,000 people impacted, exacerbating the displacement crisis, which has been ongoing because of the military-industrial complex. We could blame the military-industrial complex, or we could blame, the Sunni-Shia clash of ideologies within Islam itself, although there is definitely a coming together of the Islamic world, and we'll see that manifest, I think, to a greater degree in the coming year. At least one dead as downpour floods eastern Cuba. 14 inches of rain in 24 hours used to be kind of unheard of, but now all this stuff is commonplace. South Trinidad as well. You can see Trinidad and Tobago. They're underwater there as well. Summer downpours in Vietnam, stalling out cars and bikes. And horse trailers swept away as Wyoming ranchers capture the force of summer flash floods. You would think with all the money that we have out there, all the technology out there, that you couldn't do something to run all the excess water to the areas that actually need it, that aren't too far away. Why not some sort of rain catchment in these areas that are getting flooded away, and just water lines to the areas that need it? It sounds pretty simple. It shouldn't be too hard for the world at this point in time. Of course, it wouldn't really work out with what they haven't planned.
Right. It would kind of screw up their plans if they made something make sense.
I mean, it sounds like something so basic could actually take care of this. More summer floods, state of emergency, northwest Bulgaria. Again, this is every corner of the globe that you see the extremes. The Navy called in. Severe floods hit the Bahamas as well. It's everywhere. Flash floods, Paris as well. Every part of the globe. And then we got millions of Mormon crickets. This does happen fairly regularly. Cindy knows because she's lived up there. This is Elko, so families up there in Elko, Nevada, and you have there's so many of these crickets. They're using like bulldozers and big massive scoopers to just push them out of the way or scoop them up and deposit them elsewhere.
Yeah, and those big old leaf blowers. I mean, it's just gross.
And meanwhile, Peru grapples with the worst dengue outbreak on record. This is the other part of that whole thing, is when you have that type of extreme, we also get all the dis-ease. And you get people that when there's periods of famine, that leads to nutritional deficiencies, weakened immune systems. It's just one blow after another. It's enough to just knock you out.
And aren't those kitties so cute? Who says kitties can't play pretend?
And the Best Actor award goes to...
He's so adorable.
Pretty good job there. Pretty good job. It's coming. Oh.
It's almost like he practiced that. That's sweet.
Yeah. He knows the camera's rolling.
Yeah.
So as always, guys, thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. We couldn't do it without your support over there. If you need to make an appointment for Vedic astrology charts, spiritual coaching, energy work, ascension help, it's evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com, as we'll be hopefully getting settled in more and more and able to focus on more of the normal stuff in life. As always, stay as prepared as possible, because truly we could be hit with anything at any point in time at this juncture.
Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.